With the current resurgence that's going on with MW2019, it's got me thinking a lot about COD multiplayer, specifically what's going on with BO7 versus that game. And after going back to it, I still hate it just as much as I did back in the day, but I have come to appreciate one certain thing about it. And that's, aside from the people that are slide spamming around, when you get into a lobby when people aren't doing that, it plays more similar to classic COD than the newer games of BO7, even though there's so many classic features there, like the old school map design, no SBMM, non-disbanding lobbies, classic prestige, like some of those things that we always coincide with classic Call of Duty. But why does going back between MW 2019 and BO7, why does Modern Warfare feel like classic COD even though it's missing so many of those integral elements? It's because gun skill and positioning are how you're going to be winning pretty much every engagement, not movementing around. Now again, there is that slide cancel tech, but again, that was not intended. It was intended to be a bit more stripped back to where you had to really think about your positioning and not just running around the map brainlessly, and then if someone pops up, you just slide or jump around them and then kill them. And it's because of this, I think, is the true reason why a lot of people are going back to Modern Warfare 2019 and really enjoying it, even with all the problems that it has. But why I'm here today is because I don't think BO7's multiplayer is done. While a lot of people are dooming right now saying it's over, that Modern Warfare is completely eclipsing it, we don't have to let it be that way, because BO7's multiplayer, foundationally, is phenomenal. There's so much good here, and it's getting some of the most quality content of any COD. Like, look at the just maps that are coming this season. It's insane. Whether you like the new maps or the old school maps, it's so good to see. But it sucks that I don't really feel that drive to hop on and play. Because when I have here in recent days, you just get on, you see people sliding around, jumping around like a crackhead, and then you want to log off. Or in retrospect, where actually when I go back to Modern Warfare 2019, there is a lot less of that going on, even though that is still a problem that the game had. But again, we don't have to let it end like this. We can revitalize BO7's multiplayer in the eyes of the casuals. And it's something that I've been saying for a really, really long time, and it's something that some creators are pushing for now as well. I've seen T-Dog say it a lot, and that's a classic mosh pit. And so talking on this, I want to talk about the worries people have with this, how I think it could work at a kind of more restrictive base level, but then also my perfect vision for how I would really love to see it, but it would need a little bit more dev time. Now, before getting into that, we got to talk about where this even came from and why it's so realistic to have this back. And that's because it's nothing new. The only advanced movement game to not have a classic playlist was BO3. And to this day, I'm still pissed about that, because in Advanced Warfare and at IW, I loved the classic playlist there in those multiplayers. It was basically the exact same. It was just a mosh pit that you would hop into, and it had no advanced movement. And not only was this a fun switch up, if you loved advanced movement, you can go hop into this and all the maps played completely differently. You could hate a map with advanced movement, but love it without it. Not only was it great for variety, it also allowed a lot of those players that wanted to play the next Call of Duty but weren't a fan of the movement, they were able to hop into a playlist and actually enjoy the games. And it's primarily what I played back in the day during AW and IW. And again, this goes to show that this is nothing new to the franchise. This is not some brand new crazy thing that's so unrealistic like some might say. We have literally had this before. But with that said, there are some legitimate worries. The biggest ones being the maps wouldn't work. The game is being designed with omni movement, wall jumps, and all that there in mind. Another thing is that a lot of people are kind of not wanting omni movement, so trying to restrict omni movement as a whole would be pretty complicated. And the last thing here is that people are worried it's going to split up the player base too much. And again, I'm going to get to that. I really do not agree with that. And so let's get to what I see as the most basic level of this game mode that will get you the most bang for your buck, the biggest win for the least amount of effort. And that would be just classic BO2 maps that are already in the game, only playing those, which we know would play perfectly fine without any omni movement or slides or wall jumping. And so that's the other thing, that's really the biggest problems there, is the slide and the wall jump. Honestly, I say keep the flop. We had it back in the day during BO2, and I would fit really well on those maps. So there's still something there you can do, but just restricting the slide and wall jumps. Because honestly, I think 90% of the problem people have, and that I personally have with multiplayer, is the slide. I think not just the Omni slide, but sliding in general is kind of ruining Call of Duty. And I personally want to see it gone from COD forever. Now, I know that's a hot take, but I'm gonna stand by it. And here's the thing, I think at base, it might be easier to just keep Omni movement there. I think if we keep Omni movement, but remove the slide and wall jumps, that's gonna do the biggest difference there on those classic maps to get people back into the game. Now, that's the base. I do have a perfect vision for what this game mode could be if it's done well, given a little bit more time to cook. And that would basically be both BO2 and the BO4 maps that are in this game, plus ones from the base game that would also work that don't really need wall jumps in order to play well. There is quite a lot of these. I honestly think it's most of the maps in the game, and that would add to even more map variety here in this mode. I would want, of course, no sliding, no wall jumps, but also if we could strip back Omni movement and just go back to traditional sprint, that would be even better. And for the last one, the base mode, I was seeing that more as just a singular playlist that you could just hop into, a few popular game modes just to play on. But for this one, what I would love to see, in my perfect vision, would be something more akin to the hardcore playlist or the quick play tab, where you could hit X on it and then deselect certain game modes to where if you just wanted to play classic search and destroy or something like that, you could hop in and do that. And the reason I want this so much is that is exactly what I talked about before. It's bringing back here in BO7 what people missed about those older games, and what I think people are loving about going back to Modern Warfare 2019. It's not about movement being the primary way you win. It's bringing it back to positioning and map knowledge. And this would, 1, bring a ton of casuals back to the game because they're wanting that more restrictive movement. 2, a lot of the people that are nostalgic, those not just casual fans, but classic Call of Duty fans that have fallen off the franchise, would want to get back into the game. Having a classic playlist with those old school BO2, BO4 maps in there, that'll really help get them in as well. And I think the best way to do this is to launch this game mode during a free-to-play weekend, where you can get all those people in there, trying it out, potentially loving it, and then boom, sell them into the game. They want to play more, they got to play it. And touching on the player counts, I don't see this at all being a negative, because the thing is that those who would play this playlist are honestly the type of people that if it's not in the game, they're not going to play the multiplayer at all. So putting this in here is actually going to bring more people into the game as a whole that, hey, maybe they might get bored of it eventually and want to hop into the advanced movement playlist. It would really help with the optics where people are just like, oh my gosh, it's just the movement's so crazy in the newer games. Yeah, well, if you don't like that, there's an answer. It's putting that decision in the hands of the player to where if they don't like it, they don't have to play that. But that doesn't mean they have to go to an older game. They could just play that game mode there in the game, just like we had back in the day with the IW and AW as well. And overall, it's just a pure net positive with minimal effort and is exactly what we need to see. And every season that comes by, I am just waiting to see this pop up, just hoping eventually it does. And Treyarch, if you're watching this, please make this happen. But yeah, I think that's about it for me. If you would like to hear more of my thoughts there on Modern Warfare 2019 after going back to it and the whole entire situation that's going on with its revival, I got a lot of hot takes. And so if you want to check that out, check out the video on screen now. And yeah, that's about it. See ya.